Hey, what's up, Street Talks? Eric from the Eric Street Photography blog. So, I wanted to share with you some other rando turbo thoughts on just photography, life, etc. So, the first notion is this: strive to become yourself and strive to become less of what other people want you to become. So, this is the basic notion. In modern life, in modern society, people is always telling us, do this, don't do that, blah, blah. And it's not because people are bad people. It's not because people are sinister or whatever. It's because, honestly, the way that society has trained us, bred us, groomed us, is to become more predictable, to become less scary, to become more beneficial to the collective. So if you're watching this, assume that you're an American, Westerner, wherever you're on the globe, but so much of a Western thinking or modern thinking is based on this notion of utilitarianism, which means how can you become, you as a person or individual, become of the maximal utility for the masses. And so, for example, when you think about just society in general, I think this is what American utilitarianism strives to accomplish. So let's say there's 100 million people in America. We want to increase the overall well-being of all Americans by 10% rather than take a small percentage of individuals and increase them by 1,000%. Now, it's this philosophy or this line of thinking, it's not good or bad. It's just that's just how it is. Whereas I kind of get the sense that in Asian cultures, there's kind of more of a sense of hierarchy, is that we're willing to sacrifice 1 billion people for the sake of creating a few great individuals. And there's still in I guess in Asia, a belief more in hierarchy, and a little bit sad to say, but I think in a lot of Asian cultures, people who are service workers or stuff like that, they're kind of seen as less human, which is generally pretty sad, but I think that's just kind of the reality. Whereas in America, no matter what your rank in society is, you have some sort of dignity. So in America, people are more apt to treat service workers or janitors or people doing the dirty work with more respect. In Asia, it's not considered bad manners or bad form to just kind of treat these people like you're kind of pseudo slaves. But anyways, so what I'm trying to think is this: the goal is for you to become more of yourself, to strive to become more of an individual. And in order for you to do epic things, in order for you to feel more empowered, and also in order for you to drive the human race forward. So I'm a big Steve Jobs fan, and I do believe that you as an individual, you could actually change the course of history. You could change society, you could make big changes. So think about a Gandhi or a Mother Teresa, or other examples historically, Alexander the Great, or think about the great philosophers like Plato, Socrates, Seneca, Nietzsche, and so forth. And I think the sad thing is, in modern society, we've lost this faith that us as an individual, we could actually enact a big change. I think we've kind of fall victim to the sense that everything great has already been done or accomplished or achieved, and therefore it's not even worth me doing it. And I think the culprit is, maybe part of it is kind of the Google or the internet, is that it feels like all knowledge and information has already been discovered because it's Googleable. Whereas what we rarely think about is all these new forms of knowledge and thinking which have yet to be discovered. So in some ways, actually, us living in modern times with all this modern technology, we're actually more tormented than people were in the past. Because think about it, you're a philosopher in the past, you philosophize the things, or a photographer, whatever. You feel so empowered because you feel like you're the first person to have this original thought. But now with the internet, we almost have too much access to information of all these people who did stuff before we did, and therefore we fall victim to this kind of learned helplessness. Is it's already been done before. And there's also lots of petty people on the internet who want to also achieve or attempt great things, But they also fall victim to this thing like, oh, someone's already done it better than you. And they try to prop up their weak self-esteem and their weak ego by trying to tear other people down. And, even like one of my friends, Ricardo from Cuba, so he's an artist in Cuba. And, Cuba, for the most part, hasn't had access to the internet for a long time. It's only really gotten access to the internet maybe last like 2 years or so. And, he's discovering Facebook, Instagram, and, Google and stuff like that. But actually, in some ways, he got really discouraged because, what he considered were his unique ideas, which actually probably were his unique ideas. He kind of discovered that, other people like, Piat Mondrian and stuff like that has already done it before. And so this is insanely discouraging because I feel like the joy of being a child is feeling that everything you've done and everything you've accomplished or attempted is your first discovery. And it's like, you're the first to have done it. And to think that like all these other people have done it before you could be a little bit discouraging. But now my personal philosophy is this: I don't care if other people have done it or not already. I'm more interested in like, have I done it yet or already? And I'm not competing against other people in the sense of like, okay, he's already done it before me. I'm not trying to do it better than them. I'm just trying to strive myself to do my personal maximum, to my personal greatness. And, obviously inherently in my own personal pursuits, I want to become the best individual at that one thing of all time. And so even for me, like my personal goals is, I would like to be the best blogger of all time, or the greatest photography blogger of all time, or the greatest photographer of all time, or whatever. And I'm still young. I'm only 32. I still got lots of years ahead of me. And so the goal is for you to become more of yourself, for you not to strive to become this generic, obedient, dull person in society. And like, it's funny because like I talk so inappropriately, or I cuss, or I don't speak proper grammar, whatever's, but I don't try to control the way I talk. I was raised the way I was raised. I grew up in the culture I was raised. And so like, even this, when people are trying to like change the way you talk, I think this is really bad because it just kind of makes for a more dull, boring society with people with this proper grammar. And then you think about rappers and stuff like that, or great innovators. People love slang. People like people who talk incorrectly, and they're more interesting. And even you think about like YouTube or movies and stuff like that. Do you want to watch a TV show about a boring Joe Schmo doing boring Joe Schmo things? No, you want to see the lives of the weird, the eccentric. That's why we all love like weird people like Richard Branson or like Kanye West. We're like attracted to their craziness and their insanity. We disdain the normal, we disdain the average, we disdain the generic, yet society tells us, if you want to be a virtuous, good person, thou must become predictable, decipherable, and so forth. And honestly, this life is the only life you got to live. Why waste any of your life striving to be boring, to be basic, to be average? Strive to become more you. Have the courage to be arrogant, stubborn, selfish, evil, self-centered, and all these bad words that people try to spew upon you. And know that in becoming more of yourself, you're going to become more empowered, more apt to share yourself, to more empowered to help others. And so my barbell strategy in life is to maximize your extreme selfishness for the sake of maximizing the collective altruism and helping of society. It's just my personality. It's just my personal philosophy. There's no ultimate truth to none. So I just hope that this basic idea could help empower you. And so, like our best friend Gandhi said, become the change which you wish to see in the world, share ideas which you wish you had access to. And hopefully you could thrive to your personal maximum, and us, humanity, we could thrive to our personal maximum. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace out.